In a world where everyone is screaming to be seen, some people choose silence. Not because they're broken, not because they're shy, but because their biology doesn't crave applause. While millions chase likes like oxygen, there exists a quiet species of human, scrolling, observing, living, but never performing. And the question isn't why don't they post? The question is, what makes their brain different? Let's start with something simple. Every time you post a photo and watch the notifications roll in, your brain lights up. Not metaphorically, literally, deep inside your skull, in a region called the ventral tegmental area. Neurons fire and release a chemical called dopamine, the molecule of reward, anticipation, and craving. A like, dopamine. A comment, dopamine. The heart emoji from someone you barely know, dopamine. Your brain treats social validation like sugar, like gambling, like a drug. But here's what the science doesn't always tell you. Not everyone's brain reacts the same way. Some people have lowered dopamine receptor density, meaning their neurons are less sensitive to the rush. The notification doesn't hit as hard. The validation doesn't echo as long. For them, posting feels empty, unrewarding, like chasing a high they were never wired to feel. So they stop, not because they lack confidence, but because their biology stopped caring. Their satisfaction loop runs internally, where peace feels better than applause. Now let's go back, way back, 50,000 years ago, before Wi-Fi, before selfies, before the word influencer could even exist. You're standing in the African savannah. Your tribe surrounds you. And here's the truth. Visibility was dangerous. The loudest person attracted predators. The most visible person became a target. The ones who survived weren't always the performers. They were the observers, the quiet ones, the cautious ones, the ones who watched before they acted, who thought before they spoke, who stayed low when the world got loud. Their genes survived, and those genes, they're still here, passed down through millennia, coded into the prefrontal cortex, woven into the architecture of self-control. So when you see someone who doesn't post their life online, you're not looking at someone antisocial. You're looking at evolution, a mind built for caution, for introspection, for survival through silence. In the modern world, being low-key isn't a flaw. It's an ancient strategy written in your DNA. Let's look deeper into the brain itself. There are two systems that matter here. The first, the prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, the part that says, wait, think. Do I really need to post this? It's the region responsible for self-control, long-term thinking, and emotional regulation. And in people who rarely post, this region tends to be more active, more engaged, more alive. They think before they react. They filter before they share. They live deliberately, not impulsively. The second system, the default mode network, the brain's autopilot, the part that turns on when you're not doing anything, when you're reflecting, daydreaming, thinking about who you are. And here's the beautiful part. People who post less often have a stronger default mode network. They spend more time inside themselves than outside. They don't need an audience to process their emotions because they already have one themselves. Their identity isn't crowdsourced, it's homegrown. So while the world performs, they reflect. And in that reflection, they find something rare, clarity. Now let's talk chemistry. Because silence isn't just psychological, it's hormonal. When you post online and wait for validation, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Will they like it? Did I say the right thing? Why isn't anyone commenting? Your nervous system stays activated, alert, anxious. But for people who don't post, their cortisol stays low. Their baseline is calm. Instead, their brains are bathed in serotonin, the molecule of contentment, stability, and self-worth. They don't need external feedback. to regulate their emotions, because their biology already does it for them. Their self-esteem isn't a stock market. It's a river, steady, flowing, undisturbed. And when you combine low cortisol with stable serotonin, you get something powerful. Inner peace. Not the Instagram kind, not the filtered, curated, caption-perfect kind, the real kind. The kind that doesn't need to be seen to be felt. Their silence isn't absence, it's balance. Their calm is chemistry. Here's where it gets dark. Because the modern world doesn't reward silence, it punishes it. We live in the age of social comparison theory, where your worth is measured by your visibility, your reach, your engagement. And every time you scroll, your brain compares. They have more followers. They look happier. Their life looks better than mine. It's a trap, a mental spiral, a game designed to make you feel incomplete. But people who don't post, they've opted out, not because they're hiding, but because they see the game for what it is. They protect their mental health, not through denial, but through biological wisdom. They choose peace over performance, reflection over reaction, being over being seen. And in doing so, they preserve something the rest of us keep losing, themselves. So if you're someone who doesn't post often, know this. You're not weird. You're not antisocial. You're not missing out. You're just wired differently. Your dopamine doesn't dance for validation. Your prefrontal cortex filters before it shares. The serotonin runs deep and steady. You are the observer, the reflector, the quiet mind in a loud world. And that's not weakness, that's evolution. Because in the end, you don't need to be seen to feel seen. You already know who you are. In the age of noise, your silence isn't absence, it's wisdom. If you love understanding the hidden biology of human behavior, hit subscribe, because here, we don't just study life, we decode it.